Welcome to a Cal Bear edition of Ben and K Winn on NoFilter.net. We broadcast live each week on NoFilter.net. If you miss us, go to NoFilter.net, click on K Winn and Big Ben, go to our vault, watch us on demand anytime you want, any day of the week. For more of an audio podcast person, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Pandora, and more. Subscribe to us. I'm K Winn. Big Ben's out on assignment. That guy sitting across from me on the live stream is Mark Madsen. You know him from San Ramon Valley High School, where he starred for the Wolves. Stanford, where he took the Cardinal to 4 NCAA appearances, including a Final Four in '98. The Los Angeles Lakers, where he brought 2 titles. I think it was 2000 and 2001. He played for 9 years, and now he is the head coach of Cal basketball. Mark, welcome to the show.
Okay, Winn, what's going on? How you doing? Great to be on the show. As you were going through that, man, it brought back a lot of memories. I still remember the lob passes you were throwing to all of us when we were playing on San Ramon High School, at Acalanes, at Miramonte. And it's great to reconnect. Great to see you. I ran into your mom probably about 2 weeks ago at the high school, had breakfast with Randy, and it's great to reconnect with you guys and a lot of great memories, Kyle, and just all the best to you and your family, and excited to catch up with you.
Yeah, excited to. It's been a while. I felt like we stayed in touch because I know what's going on, and we texted a couple times, but haven't really had a chance to chop it up. So I'm ready to do it tonight.
Looking forward to it. We got a lot to go over.
So how does it feel to live and work back in the Bay Area?
It's awesome to be home. Danville will always be home. Obviously life takes you on a lot of twists and turns. And right now we're back in the area. We're living in Alamo. Our kids, in fact, my son had his first official day of school today. He's at Live Oak Elementary, which is in San Ramon. And we're just really excited to be back. I drive my kids past Monterey, Santa Ramon High all the time, and I just tell them, I say, guys, this is where Daddy went to school, and show it to my wife, and she loves it, and it's awesome to be home. Really grateful to be back in the area, and it's just a lot of fun.
We're excited to have you back in the area. I know you're going to do great things at Cal. Along the way, you played for some legendary coaches. Phil Jackson, Mike Montgomery, and of course, the great John Rayner. What have you learned from these coaches that you're going to apply in, or have you applied to your basketball philosophy?
I've been fortunate to just play for some great people that were also great coaches. I saw John Rayner about 3.5, 4 weeks ago, probably over a month. He's in South Lake Tahoe. It was great to see, obviously, himself and Janet. And just to catch up in person was phenomenal. As you know, Kyle, we had all those great year after year. That Santa Ramon High School team it's a fraternity, and it doesn't matter. You and I played together. I played with your brother, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, Joey Fuca, he obviously played after us, but the relationship is there. And if anyone says I played at Santa Ramon High School, especially for John Rayner, or Brian Bottini, there's a bond, there's a connection, and it's a lot of fun to be part of that.
Definitely. So I'm down here in Hermosa Beach, and there's a big volleyball tournament, and Nathan Hyder played, and I said, "Hey, Nathan, I was the ball boy, back in the day." And it's like, you're right. You still have the connection because I was a ball boy. I know him. I know the younger people from basketball camp or just being around high school, and it's good to have you back, and good to have a Wolf in the Bay Area coaching.
Thanks, Kyle. Yeah, it sounds like you're enjoying Southern California, man. Hermosa Beach is beautiful. You got the walk along the water itself. You got the different piers out there. That's awesome. That's a great place to be.
It's a great place to be. But I'm here in Cal is a great place to be, and I want to ask a couple questions because the basketball landscape has changed since you played. I know you've been coaching for a little bit, but what is your take on, NIL, and how do you guys use that, or can you guys use that as part of your recruiting pitch?
I think we live in a climate and a time period in the evolution of college basketball where if a university does not provide, or if a university's donor base, if they don't take NIL opportunities seriously, you're going to be left behind. And that's the reality. That's the reality that almost every university is dealing with. We're fortunate at Cal. Cal's never going to be Alabama. It's never going to be UCLA or USC or Oregon in terms of dollars spent in name, image, and likeness. But we're going to do our best to be competitive. And a lot of people have stepped up, businesses, individuals, to help create name, image, and likeness NIL opportunities for kind of a wide range of student athletes at Cal. But that, like you said, Cal, that's one piece of the equation. That's one piece of the puzzle, because there's so many more things to a Berkeley degree. You look at the engineering department, you look at the fine arts, you look at the School of Arts and Letters, the academic rigor. And you and I played with Tucker Calloway, obviously, who went to Cal.
Yeah.
Brett, your older brother played with. I mean, the legacy of individuals, of families, of communities, of people that are going to Cal, that have gone to Cal, and that just get back out there in the world and contribute in a huge way, put their mark on things. It's a great group to be a part of. It's a wonderful university, and I'm honored to be there as the coach.
I think it's kind of ironic because Jared Haas, who played at Cal, is the coach of Stanford. The dude who played at Stanford is a coach at Cal. If you go to your Stanford days, what have you learned about Cal since you've been on campus that you didn't know when you were on the farm?
I think a lot of things. First of all, I'd spent time at Cal. I'd played games there. I'd, gone over there a few times for different things. But when you look at the totality of the campus, it is the best public education in the world. And, when you see that up close, when you start meeting professors, when you start, I was at a function where there's a Nobel laureate who had been instrumental in setting up, obviously that telescope that is now out in outer space, that's doing amazing things in terms of the scientific research, images, radio waves, different measurements of the galaxies and the universes. I mean, it is incredible to be there with the cutting edge academic prowess. And so that piece is amazing. Athletics. I mean, when you look at the number of Olympians and gold medalists and, high level athletes at Cal, it's an honor to be part of this group. I never really realized, I knew it because I grew up in Danville, but to be able to come to Berkeley as a city every day is awesome. I probably eat lunch on Telegraph probably 2 or 3 times every 2 weeks. And the restaurants there, the people are just.
Is Fat Slice Pizza still there?
Which pizza place?
Fat Slice and Top Dog. That's where I used to go in high school because I didn't have any money.
I'm gonna have to check out those spots. Zachary's Pizza is one spot, and then
that's it, Zachary.
Yeah, Zachary's, and then Mezzo Cafe has been that's kind of my go-to in terms of, they trick you into thinking you're eating healthily with salads, but the salads are amazing.
Now, there's been some recent news last week, and it's ever changing in terms of conferences. Is there anything you can share on anything you may be hearing with the direction that Cal might be heading?
Well, there's a lot of rumors out there. There are rumors of Cal going to the ACC. There are rumors of Cal going to the Big Ten, and I can say that's above my pay grade. I know that our athletic director, Jim Knowlton, is working day and night. Chancellor Christ is burning the midnight oil in her office, tearing up the phone lines. And I have no doubt that we are going to get a great opportunity in terms of conference so that, the Cal sports community, the student athletes currently at Cal, are going to have a great opportunity to be in a very competitive conference. And I don't know the timing, Kyle. I wish I had inside information. I mean, to be honest, I get bits and pieces from different people, but those, again, those, when there's something to report in terms of something concrete, Cal will make the release, and we're hopeful for great news.
We're hopeful as well. Now I wanna take you back a little bit. We talked about Cal. I gotta bring up San Ramon Wolves. We played together. A lot of great memories for a couple of years. So I want to do a little word association. I'm going to give you a name of a player that you either played with or against, and I want you just to say first thing that comes to your mind. Are you ready?
Right. I'm ready. You going to give me a time limit? I mean, is this like I got 2 seconds to respond?
It'll be pretty easy. You just say whatever you feel. There's no wrong answer.
All right, perfect.
Nathan Davis.
Shooter.
Great shooter. He was the JJ Redick before the JJ Redick in the East Bay, in my opinion.
No, I'm going to tell you. No, Nathan Davis. I played with him. He was a freshman. I was a senior. I kept telling Nathan, I said, Nathan, you're such a great shooter. Shoot more. Shoot more. Every time you're open, shoot. He was an unbelievable shooter, a great person. His older sister, Rachel, and I were classmates, class of 94. And you talk about just an amazing family. That's the Davis family. And it was awesome to play with Nathan for that 1 year. I ran into him. Actually, I've run into him in the last 5 or 10 years down at Lakers games. And then I saw Rachel and her husband a few times when I was actually playing. I've lost touch with her, but that brings back a lot of good memories playing with Nathan.
So I was texting with him the other day. When I'm home for the holidays, we already said we're going to come up and watch the game. So look for us in the crowd.
Come on down. No, not in the crowd. You come on down to the locker room. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. He's a Pacific guy. We're playing UOP, so I don't know if I can get him in that game. So we'll have to see.
Yeah. Well, I haven't been a different game. Next name, Bob Myers.
Sharp elbows. Mid-range jumper. Mentor. Great friend. Great person. High character. Bob, we had some battles. You were part of some of those battles, Kyle. And it's crazy where life takes you. Bob went to UCLA, had an unbelievable career. And then, alongside the Lacob family, Bob was really instrumental working alongside that whole organization in creating one of the greatest dynasties that's ever been in the NBA. And, Bob is someone who just really understands. First of all, he's incredibly smart. So he's got the mind, but then he also couples the mind with understanding people, relationships, and different dynamics, and how to work with people and bring people together. And I think that's what he did at the Warriors to help bring all those championships and to help bring all that enjoyment of basketball at the highest level for coaches, for players, but also for the casual fan. It was really kind of a unique time at the Warriors.
It was a great time, and it was fun to see him come back to the Bay Area and take the Warriors to that next level and win those 4 rings. But what I always hold on to is I think we were 3-0 against Bob. We beat him twice in the regular season. And then there was that game at James Logan, the playoff game, where they scored with a couple seconds left. Do you remember? The crowd came down, and we thought our season was over. They put time back on the clock. Coach Rader drew up a play, lobbed to you. You caught it, shot it, and we won. And we sent them home, and brings a smile on my face.
Hey, anytime San Ramon beats Monte Vista, Kyle, as you know, is a great day. And that year in particular, we were 3-0. I remember Ryan Luther had an unbelievable last-second shot. You remember that shot?
Right.
At home in a gym that's no longer there at San Ramon. It's been demolished. There's tennis courts and a little slice of a pool in place of that gym. But it was a tough year for Monte Vista and a great year for San Ramon.
It definitely was. Next name I got, Raymond Circus King.
Circus King. I saw Raymond Circus King 3 months ago when I took the Cal job. We had a little reception. So Stanford was in touch with Circus King to try to bring Circus to Stanford. He ended up going to Cal, but just a unique player and a tremendous human being that made the game of basketball fun, made the game of basketball entertaining. In sports, we talk about that ball being on a string. With Circus, that ball was on a string. He's the guy that's crossing people over. People are falling down, spraining their ankles. He was never a guy that got a guy to fall and then looked at him and then shot.
Yeah.
That wasn't his game. Too much respect. He would cross somebody up, they would stumble, and he would just rise up and shoot the soft jumper. But a big piece and a big person and a big personality in Bay Area basketball.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. I think he was freshman of the year in California and sophomore of the year. I think he was on track to be an All-American, but he got hurt. And so it's a shame when injuries kind of derail, someone's career. But like he was at the pinnacle of like his success when we played him. And he was fun to watch, not fun to play against.
Not fun to play against, but a great player.
So this last game, I think you played with him at Nike camp. Allen Iverson.
Oh, one of my favorite players of all time. I was coaching for the Lakers, and we were playing the Philadelphia 76ers, and the elevator opened, and there he was, AI. I'm like, I don't really know him all that well, but you know each other a little bit just from being on the other side of the competition. I said, AI, what's going on? And he said, what's up back? And it was, playing against a player like that was historic for me. It was, I'll tell my kids about it. And what I love about AI is just obviously the skill level was there, but so was the heart. And I think that's what endeared him to every single fan in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, all around the country, because here's a guy that's 5'10 and a half, 5'11, 160 pounds, but he dominated games. I did a camp in Minnesota when I was at the Timberwolves, and Allen Iverson was one of the guys I would talk about all the time, because the game of basketball is not about stature. It's not about size. It's about heart. And that's what Allen Iverson, I think exemplified when he played. He took a shot in front of the Lakers bench in the NBA Finals, and they won the game. And I remember he rose up to shoot. I was on the bench.
Against Ty Lue?
This was against Tyronn Lue. And I just screamed so loud, shot, to try to distract AI, to try to get him to miss the shot. He nailed it. He turned around to look right at me. Well, I just looked away, and then unfortunately he stepped over one of our teammates, and they ended up winning the game. LA went into a crisis. Now eventually we came back and won the series, but Allen Iverson has forever changed the game of basketball with just his heart, the way he played, and the fearless mentality that he had.
Yeah. I still remember the first time I saw his left to right crossover, like left hezzy right, so quick, so dynamic. And then he kept doing it. He was at Georgetown, and I remember him playing against Allen. And then everyone wanted to see him go against Mike. And I remember, like, was he say top of the key, shakes him once, shakes him twice, crosses up Mike. And it was almost like a little bit of the chain of the guard, right? From like Air Jordan to this dynamic, wonderful, small miniature sized guard, but the things that he could do on the court, no one else could do it at that size. I don't know if anyone can do it at that size and weight.
It was an amazing combination. And that year they made it to the NBA Finals in Philadelphia. Really, outside of him, I mean, they had some good players on that team, but it was a lot of role players. And Allen Iverson he helped will that team to the NBA Finals. We had been waiting on Philly for like a week. Phil gave us 2 days off. It might have been 10 days. Phil gave us 2 days off during that time. And, Philly had every one of their series. Almost everyone was a 7-game series. And so they played on a Saturday night, and they were playing us on a Monday or Tuesday. And I'm thinking, there's no way that we're going to lose this game. But they came in so hungry, they smacked us in game 1.
Well, with the time we have left, I got some questions about the Lakers, so it's a perfect transition. What was it like playing with Kobe and Shaq?
Oh, Kyle, it was amazing. One time in practice, I'll start with a funny story. Phil Jackson, he liked to. We did a lot of work on the triangle offense. We did some fundamental work with footwork. He always talked about pivoting. He called it the 4 pivots: inside, outside pivot, both ways. and then we would play. And so one time we were playing live, and somehow I switched on to Kobe in a transition situation. Maybe his defender had gone and missed a layup and fallen down. So I picked up Kobe, and I'm thinking, yeah. And so I got low. I got into a stance. Kobe crossed me up. I fell down, and I went sliding backwards because it was in transition. So I had some momentum. So sliding backwards. I fell down. I was in the motion of getting back up to like continue to try to guard Kobe. And Phil Jackson just blew the whistle. And it was just one of the most, we all just started laughing. We all just, it was one of those things. And, I was the guy that got crossed up, but, we're all that, but it didn't feel like anyone was laughing at me. It was just the situation. We were all laughing together. Because here I am, overmatched. I'm trying my hardest. I get crossed. I go flying. I don't know if anyone else from that team would remember that, but I remember it like it was yesterday. And it showed the fact that Phil Jackson had a sense of humor. And, we had some battles. Kobe was someone that if you didn't come to practice ready to go every single day, Kobe was going to go at you. And he was going to challenge you to raise your game. He was going to challenge you to be the best version of yourself. Shaq was a guy that, Shaquille, when he stepped onto the court, if you weren't ready to play, you would get jammed underneath the rim. You would get dunked on, and he took no prisoners. Shaquille took no prisoners. And so to have both of those guys on the same team, and it's funny, in the moment you're playing with them and you're like, oh, this is cool. But then later when you leave the team, it's like, oh my gosh, that was unbelievable. It was unreal to be with both of those guys for 3 years. Kobe's work ethic. Kobe would get to practice early. There were times when he would work on his footwork for an hour at like 8 in the morning. He would have already gotten his shots up. And then he just worked on, again, the 4 pivots. Inside reverse pivot, outside reverse pivot, front turn, reverse turn. And he would just work on the pivots. And then
free throw line extended with the ball?
He would go block, elbow, block. And he would just work on the pivots. And then he would add the shot to the pivots. Then he would add kind of a fake step into a pivot. And I think it was a combination of kind of the Phil Jackson philosophy coupled with some of the things he had learned from Olajuwon.
Now, the Lakers won. It was a 3-peat, and you were part of 2 of those wins.
Yeah.
If Kobe and Shaq stayed together, how many championships do you think they would have won?
That is the question. And I honestly believe they could have won 3 to 5 additional championships because no one was close. The Spurs a little bit, but really not much. Really not much. They had some nice pieces down there in San Antonio, but it was nothing compared to Kobe in his prime and then Shaquille, the most dominant player that's ever played the game. And so, but it came down to the fact that, the Lakers, and again, I view the Buss family as the best managing owners, probably in any franchise, possibly in history. When you talk about the combination of winning, treating players like family, and demanding the best of everyone in an organization, that's the Buss family to a T. Financially, I think both those players, just the amounts kept going up and up and up. And the Lakers, the Buss family kept going up and up and up. But eventually, you kind of had to pick one. And he was still able to win another couple of championships later in his career.
Yeah, it still worked out. But I agree with you. I was thinking about it. I'm like, I think they would have got 6 or 7 together. I think after the 3-peat, guys probably would have lost to the Spurs just because it's hard to win 4 in a row.
Yeah.
And then would have retooled again and then would have won. I think it was like Nets, the Cavs, and the Pistons. Like maybe not in all that order to find. So I definitely could see 6 or 7.
Yeah, and you never know because even the year the Spurs got lucky a little bit in the sense that Robert Ory's shot was off one series, and Kobe was a little bit off. Ginobili was playing out of his mind, and so the stars kind of aligned that one year for the Spurs to knock us out. and you got to give them credit where credit is due. But the Spurs were not going to be a dynasty. That was clear to everyone in the league. Again, great organization, great people, great team, but it wasn't quite at the same level as, say, the Warriors or the Lakers.
Now, in both the championship parades, you danced, and it was a memorable dance. Did you ever think of going on Dancing with the Stars?
That would have been a complete disaster, Kyle. Complete disaster. I mean, you and I know we were probably at a lot of the same high school dances, you know.
Yeah. I didn't see those moves.
You don't have rhythm, you don't have it. If you don't have rhythm, you don't have it. But I wasn't the only guy with no rhythm. I mean, I always tell Devin George, his rhythm, left a lot to be desired. T. Lou, not the greatest rhythm, but for some reason I got singled out, Kyle. I don't know why.
I think it's because you're a tall guy. You're taller than everyone. The cameras can spot you.
No, those were great times. I'll never forget Shaquille getting up at City Hall in LA, and he just proclaimed it on the microphone. He said, "Los Angeles is the new capital of California." Again, the Sacramento fan base, they didn't like it, but again, all due respect to the Sacramento fan base, but they've got to move on from the cowbell. The cowbell is, they got to move on from that at some point because it hasn't worked. It didn't work against the Lakers. It didn't work against the Warriors. So something different. But I will say this about the Kings: they're an up and coming organization and good ownership, good coaching, and wish them well. But they were awfully good to the Lakers back in the day.
They were. So we'll let you go on this question. I think you guys are top 10 in the transfer, rated for transfers. You guys picked a lot of new faces, a lot of new players. What are you most excited about heading into the season?
I'm excited about a lot of things. The biggest thing that gets me excited is this is an outstanding group of young men. They are truly student athletes. They take their academics seriously, and then they love basketball. And when you have a group of guys like that, that love to be in the gym, that will compete, that will have each other's back, a lot of great things are possible.
We look forward to watching your success at Cal, and we keep a close eye. We won't be heckling when Nate and I come to the game.
You guys are gonna be in the locker room with me. You guys are gonna be down in the locker room, Kyle. So let's make it happen. But again, not against Pacific, probably not against Santa Clara either.
Not against Santa Clara either. Well, actually, one final question. You don't have to answer it on air, but Big Ben and K Winn, it's a gift that keeps on giving. Is there someone in your phone that you could recommend as a potential great guest that you could put us in touch with? You don't have to answer it right now, but we'd love to connect and keep telling the West Coast stories and make memorable moments come to life and relive everything through Big Ben and K Winn.
Hey, this has been a lot of fun. I'll keep that in mind, K Winn, and see if I can come up with somebody. And just can't thank you enough for having me on the show. And keep doing great things, man. Keep doing great things.
All right. Best of luck. Great catching up. We'll get out there and throw some lobs and see if you can still go get them.
I can't go get them. I mean, you weren't only throwing lobs. You were knocking down threes. You crossed some guys over too now. You had some guys falling over.
I wish Ben was here to hear that.
Right.
All right. Be good. Thank you.
All right, K Winn. Hey, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you.
Take care.
All right, man. See ya.